Guys, my name is Mark and today I show you my 4 favorite new Huskies. Let's go. What is Whale doing? He's showing dogs? No guys. Basically, first thing I realized when they sent me the new G-Wolves HSK mouse, they just changed the outside of the box. That's one thing, not the only thing they changed, because the very first one, where I already made this review over, where I was not very satisfied, as many or the most of you maybe know, I was super hyped by the way for this one. They just did this box and they said it's a special limited HSK Stardust version, and now that's the other versions I have here now in 4 colors are the just normal aces, and they write Husky now on it, so basically like they wrote Skull on the SKL, and yeah, that's the brand name, so they just give it a name like Viper or something, I don't know, but I have no idea why it's called Husky. It's not a Husky, you know. It's okay for me. The box is pretty normal, like always. Down there, as I explained already here on the EAN code, the EAN code basically is working for the shops to identify the product. EAN is a number which you need to buy as company in stacks from 1 to 1,000, no, from 10 or 100 to 1,000 or more pieces for your products. It always identifies a product as a unique product and is accepted worldwide in a database. That's how you can list it, for example, on Amazon or something like that. And that's the box from the green. That's why it says G-Wolf HSK green. And here over there was the G-Wolf Stardust black box on the EAN code. That's the box so far. As always, it came just, as we all know it from G-Wolves, and those metal housing, the classic metal boxes inside, nothing special. Most of you guys know this. What was in this time, they tried to surprise me, I guess, or whatever. As I said, I bought all 4 colors, and there will be a giveaway soon on my Twitter for these colors, or for some of them, I don't know how I will do it. But basically, they surprised me a little bit this time. One thing I was not very amused about is they just sent this mouse with a blue rubber for the mouse wheel. But to change it, you need to open the mouse and you need to tear off these glides. But there were no second pair of glides in the box. So you basically had to buy glides, and at this point there were no options to buy it. Now Core Pads has some glides. I will order them too, and I will replace them on one of my mouse, because that's one of the weakest spots of this mouse, the glides and the cable. But this time they just put in an extra pair of glides, also one extra sensor ring. That's really good. They're looking really decent. They just put in, like always, their own little data sheet they have, which explains which sensor, which switches, how many buttons, size, whatever. By the way, this one says it's Omron 20 mil, this sheet, but in another video I will tear down this one and one of these 4s to just compare them, because one thing I already saw, there's another PCB inside, there's another MCU inside, and I think the sensor is different to the one before. And this time they also put grips in it. These grips are these super cheap grips, you know, from some other major brands. I have no idea why they did this. Normally on the Ace versions they have those super nice, a little bit thicker grips like they had on the Stardust hati-s, or yeah, on the hati-m Ace editions they had those grips. You also were able to buy for €12, I think, which were very good. They were very grippy but a little bit thick, and now they have like this trash grips. I won't use them anyway. They're not very good. And what's the rest inside? There's like the smell bag that's channel number 7 from China. It's just called 7. Smells like sheep aftershave a little bit. There's a very big German YouTuber, Jamie Fragrance. I think I will send him this bag and he can tell me which sheep perfume it is, but basically it's just smelling after something like sheep deodorant. That's the box inside. You have this black brush, and as I remember, And some boxes were brushes where they were harder, but this one is very soft again. The brush is not for painting the next great picture for your gallery or for your next hentai or whatever. The brush is basically for cleaning the holes. Don't clean other holes with it, please. Only these holes, thanks. Not for your nose or other extensions of your body. And so, yeah. That's basically everything what is in the box, and also that's basically all you need in the box. There's, as I was on this version, also on the new versions, there's basically not a cable which you can put out, so it's not a USB-C or a USB mini connector like it was on the hati-s Ace edition, for example. The mouse basically come like this. When you see this, guys, and you have a mouse like this from a reseller, basically means it was never had it in hand before. Of course, this is not blue glides. That's stickers you need to tear off to use the glides right. Of course, that's PTFE, and above it's just plastic. I have no idea why they do this. If it is for Chinese people a sign of quality, that there is a sticker on the glide, but I think it's no need. That's only plastic waste in my opinion, and I would like to avoid as much plastic waste as I can, because I just want to give people who were born after me a planet where they can live on for some more 100 or 1,000 years. So please avoid plastic waste. G-Wolves, if you see this, for the next one, just stop putting stickers everywhere on. It's not needed, guys. Also, I don't think we need this, and also I don't think we need an extra, this one extra here in the box, and yeah, but it's okay. It's only what I think. The cable, if you compare it to the old one, has exactly the same stiffness, which leads me to a problem again. I explained it already on the last video or on my at Soundkönig video. It means if stiffer the cable is, the more force it can produce on the top or on the entry, on the connector of on the head on your mouse, and is more behind or is more far away from this point your fingertip or hybrid grip or whatever grip is located, the more or the ability of force to influence your aim is higher, so it's bigger. So the force can on a micro correction can influence your micro correction, and your aim could be go off because of the stiffness of the cable. And the other thing is, which is also still negative for me, I already tried it here. I showed in a German video. Let me check here. Okay, here for example, like the glides here on this one are all fitted very good. They are very plain. On the red one for the German version, they were like the glide here on the back side, and this one here on this side were just standing up a little bit. And that's not a quality issue, guys. You can as much as I know, G-Wolves right now quality checking every mouse before sending 3 times. Why do they do this? I explained it already in other videos. When you raise your quality control and the satisfaction or the way people think about the product from a producer, and if you raise your level on thinking by people in the scene, in the game scene, you are able to raise the prices. Production is only getting marginal more expensive. You maybe hire one more quality control guy or woman or machine or whatever, or you do it one more routine, so a 4-time check or whatever. But if you are able to raise your quality by like 2 or 3%, 3% in the industrial evolution or in industrial manufacturing, 3% is a margin which can give you millions, guys. It's millions, 3%. For example, startups, if they're not inventing something completely new, they always only focus on making something 1 to 3% better, like a codec or a program or a planner or a calendar, which is maybe 3% better than the market leader, and then they just sell it to the market leader. That's all, 3%, guys. And if they would raise the quality on every mouse 3%, And in general, how they are built, these guys can easily, by the hype they have, by the way they communicate with the community, by the way they hear to the community, by the way they get influenced and show themselves to be able to take the influence or the beliefs and thoughts of the community to just change products in the way people want to, they could be easily grow very big, very fast. Sure, there are kind of big in China, but not in those high sections. I mean, you can see it that they still have problems and shortages of MCUs and sensorships. I mean, everyone has it, but big players like Cooler Master Razer, they have way more money to invest and they have way better connections. They're producing millions of mice a year, so they have a higher demand and a higher placement at Pixart, for example. For those G-Wolves guys who are really new at the market, who are right now bringing a higher variety of products and trying to always to do a top-notch product every time, which is really hard. Lately, I don't see or did not saw a product which was not or where the aim wasn't to be a very good, very satisfying product. It's hard to do all the time the best product, guys. But this time I can tell you, if we compare those two products, which basically from the same brand, which should be the same product, they improved on this one. You say, but on Twitter, this G-Wolves review guy or G-Wolves himself wrote, there's basically nothing changed, or X-Ray Pet say there's nothing changed. That's not true. I can already tell you, this mouse has a different PCB inside, it has a different MCU, and I think it has a different sensor. I will do a tear down video of this one and one of these translucent versions just to compare and show you. We check what they have done on the bodies. We check how the cable is going in here, how sensitive it would be to broke a cable or something like that. Also, we will check the glides again, which is where a weak spot for me, to be honest. And I think if you really want to play this mouse, one of the new versions, change the cable, change the glides by Corpads. And one thing I already can tell you, I was not very. I said they evolved in the type of plastic they have made or their shoes. This is one of the only 200 sold hati-s wireless Ace editions in full black. And if we just compare the plastic, I can tell you this was already an evolution. Like the plastic feels a little bit smoother, a little bit softer, and feels more high quality, to be honest. And of these 4 new colors, my absolute favorite is the red one. I think they did not change the way they produce the plastic, but the sides, which are the shell basically is made of top side to the left and the right side, a down side, and those clicks. That's not one thing here, that's 3 things, 1, 2, 3. And the sides are like, on the red one, they're feeling very rough. So they feel like there are, I don't know, they used some acid or something, or just made a very rough polymer, or used a plastic which is basically rough after production, or it's not heated that high so that it stays a little bit more rough on the outside. This coating is very good for me, to be honest. It's one of the first small mouse or mice I didn't need a grip, to be honest. I played it without grips and it was very satisfying. There was no it's like, I don't know, it's hard to say. It's just a little bit rougher than the top shell, and it gives you very good CPI response feeling to your finger extensions, to your fingertips, and it's awesome, guys. Click is, I already said, like I like the click, never disliked the click, to be honest. You can change the, on the red one it's a black rubber, on the other 3s there's gray rubber, and on the black one the exchange rubber from the mouse wheel is gray, and on the other 3 it's gray too, it's not black. I have no clue why. I would go just by price, just by coating, just how it feels. I would go with the red. The PCB is the same inside. I can tell you already, for me, the red one is the MVP. And if you use the software, for example, the software is it's made yesterday or 2 days before. And this here is 1 day before they released the new firmware for the mouse. The software is basically not running with these, the first version with these HSK edition Stardust. I always want to say Starlight, man. This fucking final mouse shit just burned my brain, to be honest. It was the most annoying experience I've ever had. So it's not possible to use the software on the first edition, but on all 4 on these, and I think on every upcoming Ace you can use this one. It says it has a 3389 sensor in it, which is basically one of the top-notch sensors right now. It's not 8K hertz, it's 1K hertz. But they said like they want to do a firmware tomorrow on 6th of August because of something with saving the lift-off distance or something like that. But I think lift-off distance low 1 millimeter should be enough, to be honest. I have no clue why it should be lower. Also the glides are, I don't know. Maybe if you send down a little bit and you switch the glides, I have no clue why you should change it. Polling rate steps are 125, 500,000 hertz, like always. Please set it to 1000 hertz. Then you can use call line. Basically, call line is a correction of your movement. I would not. Please just don't use it. It makes your movement slower. It's just trash. Okay, guys. Then there's a debounce timer. You can set it between 16 and 4 milliseconds. It's set to 16 milliseconds, and the mouse is basically set to 1000 hertz. Please, guys, do this, download the software. It's only some megabyte big. It's not a virus. I tested it, and you can use it safely. Put it to 1000 hertz, the polling rate. Use the debounce timer 4 milliseconds. G-Wolves guys, or the designer or whatever, guys, if you see this, please enable the people to also go for 2 and 0 milliseconds debounce. If they have double clicks, they will reset or do it just higher. But please enable them to decide for themselves. You have Kales in there, should be okay. And I don't think your PCB and MCU settings are this slow, guys. Just enable them to do 2 and 0. I mean, even Glorious can do 0. Please, just do it, guys. So it's just freedom of mind. Every tech nerd just wants to squeeze out the last milliseconds. That's why we buy your products, guys. Please do it. But at the end, I'm very satisfied. I also tested this one on Kovacs, and I instantly realized, I was mentioning when you watch my review with this, that there felt like, for me, it's a jitter. Also my YouTube camera guy, we're trying it. It felt like it has just jitter, like it's the sensor or what. So, but my sensor is centered and there was no problem. Basically, I measured the DPI I controlled it sometimes with 1, 2 and 3 centimeters. DPI was set right, everything was okay. I used different mouse pad. I used Super Control, Equate, and soft version, the soft white Aqua Control Plus. Basically, the jitter was on every pad and I had no clue why. And I connected this one with 1600 DPI and the in-game sense of 0.6, which basically I think is 41 centimeter for a 360 turn. And I can tell you, this here had way better, way more security feeling. There was basically like 0 jitter. The only thing which felt like annoying for me is like the stiffness of the cable. I felt it. I did not connect it to the mouse bungee. I just played it laying on the desk. And you see how it looks. Just change it, guys. If you play this mouse, change it. And the scales, they are less scratchy than on this one, but they're still scratching a little bit on an Aqua Control Plus White Fly, which is a smooth microcontrol mousepad based on synthetic fibers, which is a very good selling product. It's very widely used all over the world in different versions, but you can feel the scratch. So if you play a hard pad, it will scratch even more. And as I said already, on this version, the feet were not fitting perfectly into the holes they made for them. So yeah, it's okay for me. It was okay. The sensor ring light also looks a little bit off. It's a little bit moved to the right side there on one point. but it works. But if you want to have the best feeling, change glides, change cable. The rest is good. Software is working. You can influence everything. Here have DPI switch. You can loop it down here. You can set the button whatever you want for. You can also go to eBay Kleinanzeigen in Germany. There's a guy who flashes your mouse for 50 euro for aimbot. I think it's just a fucking scam. Someone linked me on this on Twitter, by the way, some days ago. I saw this. I noticed already 2 months ago. We talked about it on Twitch. Guys, don't do this. There's no person you can flash your MCU aimbot on the mouse. That's bullshit. He scams you. You will set the mouse and you will never get it back. So you can set everything you want. If you set DPI loop, and you can change in-game. It shows you DPI 1, 2. You can loop up to 7 DPI settings if you want to change it on the fly. Also, you can just do, if you want DPI plus and minus. If you do DPI plus, it always changes just to the next stage. Basically means if you have like set down 7 DPI settings down here, yeah, you just will go to the next. It just will raise it. But if you reach the top, the last, it will not go back. So you are doomed with 12,000 CPI, which basically looks like this, guys. Fuck. Yeah, I just do one, I apply it, and then I just set this button to disable. Because the less things working on the mouse, the less work there is for the MCU. So guys, for me, there's like clearly, and compared this to this one, as I said, the red one is the MVP for me. The other ones are good. They're looking good. If you are just there for the colors, guys, and for the designs, I think you will go with one of the translucent editions. But for me, the red is the MVP, feels the best, looks the best for me. Pretty classic, pretty decent. If you upgrade it, it's an awesome fingertip mouse. If you are still aware of buying at Soundkönig, which is still absolutely nuts, guys. And I already ordered my second one. And I can tell you, this is a very good entry now. This version is a very good entry. This has my Der Wahl gibt Strahl improvement for the entry level of fingertip playing, guys. So thanks for watching so far. Next video about this, or where you see this type of mouse, will be a teardown, where we open 2 different of them. And I hope you watch this soon. You watch this also, and you will enjoy it like you enjoyed this review. If you have any comments, any more questions, if I forgot something or think I'm wrong on some of the stuff I mentioned here, just let me know down in the comments. See you on the next video, guys. Goodbye.